Hello everybody and welcome back to Civilization 5 with me, Daniel, on your Gate64, or Civil Onion based upon how you know me. And we're back for Yeousch Alliance initially, and we're recording them in the end for the Civil Onion channel. Now if you're wondering why I sound a bit different, it's because I have a really sore throat. And consequently I've had to turn the gain up on the microphone, and I am talking much more softly. Because needless to say, I don't want to sound like a prepubescent 15-year-old having voice cracks every 10 seconds and then coughing for ages. So anyway, still having the same problems with my mouth, but we'll work around it. We're Casimir of Poland, and we're going to kick some butt, needless to say. Unfortunately though, it has been a couple of months since I've last been on this game. There's been a whole lot of background dramas and situations for which I needed to deal with. But, all in all, let's hope it's all getting sorted, huh? If you're also wondering what the background noise is, it's the cat that wants to go outside, but he's not allowed outside at this time of night. If you're wondering why I sound a bit somber though, other than my throat, it's because we have 3 cats, and at night we bring them in, so that we know they're safe. One of the 3 hasn't come back. It's been about 24 hours now. Now, I am cautiously optimistic he is fine and will be back. But obviously you have to be concerned about where the cat is, especially as we've had a previous cat that we believe was taken out by a coyote. So that is why I'm a bit worried. But back to the game of Civilization 5. We're in a good situation. We're the strongest empire going at the moment. And hello Tux, the little cute and very loud kitty. That's the cat you'll be able to hear, by the way, if it does come up in the background. It's Tux, named after Tuxedo, the type of clothing it looks like he's wearing. But anyway, yeah, that's fine. He's very cute, but he's very loud. Much like Augustus season. No, not really. Barbarian encampment discovered, which is perfect. And now we're in the situation in the game where this is, like I said, being recorded initially for Yeousch Alliance. And I'm guessing the people of Yeousch Alliance would probably rather see a domination victory than any other type. So naturally, that's what we're going to try and do at some point. It's just about timing it, because early game is actually very difficult to take AI out, just because the units that are good against cities, the catapults, the early game CG are awful, downright terrible, and consequently they tend to cause you problems when you're trying to take empires and cities out. Also, I don't want other empires to start getting angry at me yet. As much as possible I want to be friendly with them, albeit none of them are pleased with me. We are probably going to take Shaka out at some point, but not probably not for a little while at the very least. Simple reason being that we're building wonders at the moment, so that we can get our religion really pumping. Shaka doesn't like us, he's hostile, as you can see from the symbol down here. And as a result he will start shouting things at us from time to time, being a bit of a child man that he is. We're going to say very well, because we don't want another war with him just yet, and we don't want to fuel the fire. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, by the way, on today's agenda we have maple leaf, well not maple leaf, maple flavoured I suppose, whiskey. Because whiskey apparently is meant to be good for sore throats, but yeah, I suspect that might be a load of cobblers, given it's not doing anything for me. But never mind. That horse might cause us issues, so temporarily we will do that. May purchase with faith. That means that our faith being at 490 is sufficient to build a missionary if we wanted to. We're not going to. We don't need to. The missionary can spread religion. Frankly though, we really don't need it, because our city of Warsaw will naturally start spreading religion within 10 tiles anyway. As you can see, Krakow already has 2 followers, and Lodz already has 1, so I am not massively concerned about getting a missionary out. I would rather improve my religion more quickly, which will cross in more depth when we get there. So really, we've ended up in a bit of a weird situation. Usually small ring maps like this present a bit of a cluster issue, where there are so many civs close packed in such a small amount of land that everyone fights over the land immediately. Because Enrico Dandolo is one of the players, however, who can't build such things as more cities other than his capital, we've ended up with a whole waft of land over here which is not occupied. However, this land around here could become occupied, which is why we settled Lodz when we did, frankly. What do we want to do here? Probably get a farm in like the game actually advises. Well done game, you got it right. We probably need at least one right now. Don't need too many, and tile improvements cost money to maintain, so you don't want to spam them. Oh, the pike's taking the horse out. Okay, that's kind of ideal, really. He's got a trireme. We actually don't have a city which can produce a naval unit that can get into this inland sea. Which hopefully we will deal with in due course, but not right now. And certainly I've brought up in the past where I plan to put cities, but like I said, because of the distance of time between the recordings, I genuinely can't remember. Long story short, with why things have been so delayed, I actually homeschool one of our kids now, and as a result that takes normally 3 or 4 hours up in the middle of my day. My wife works shifts, which means her hours are all over the place. We have 2 other kids that go to a regular school, so they get back at varying hours. Depends if Sasha, my wife, is at work or not. So my schedule is always all over the place. And obviously you can't record content like this when you've got kids roaming around the house, because they'll end up, sabotaging your recording and all that. So I can only really do it once they're all in bed, and when my wife isn't around, whether it be not in the building, just at work, or is in bed or something like that, because she wants to spend more time with me, obviously, and I want to spend time with her. And unless you are getting paid ridiculous sums of money on YouTube to produce your videos, you should bear in mind that it's just a hobby more than anything else, and therefore your family life obviously comes first. And it definitely does in my case. We have a new social policy we can get. None of these are hugely useful for us, however, I really want reformation, which means we have to get religious tolerance, even though, frankly, it does nothing for us right now. But alas, you have to sacrifice a social policy in this case to get a good one. Shaka's got the statue of Zeus. That's a bit of a shame. Statue of Zeus makes capturing cities easier. I'd rather that have gone to Enrico Dandolo, to be honest, because Rome's quite devastating with that too. The only difference really being that Rome would have a really difficult time attacking us, which is kind of handy. Because if I go to the Civilopedia and go to units, both of Rome's unique units are very early. I believe they are both classical era. I might be wrong. Now the first one is a siege unit, the ballista. It's a regular catapult, just a bit stronger. That's pretty much all it is to it, but that's just about enough strength. And of course the phone goes off, hang on. Anyway, as I was saying before that phone call, ironically from my wife, was that Rome has 2 unique units, and they're both early game. The ballista's a catapult with extra strength, and that's all there is to it. The Legion, however, is a much more interesting unit. It's a swordman that's stronger, it's got extra 3 strength. It can also build roads, though, which means you can let your workers prioritise building other improvements while your Legion builds the roads. So really, quite a useful unit. But you do need iron, so if you don't have iron you can't build them, so swings and roundabouts. Anyway, let's get continuing. I'm not convinced Lodz is going to get that built in time, but I do hope so. I'd love to be able to chop down that forest to help speed it along, but that location doesn't have much in the way of production otherwise. By the way, if that comes up in the recording, that's the other kitty, Buttons. Hello. Hello, Buttons. You're cute. You don't like me now for some reason. As it happens, Buttons was bitten by something because she came back one day with 2 big red wounds in her back and chest area. We're keeping an eye on it. So obviously, yeah, if it gets infected, I would know, but it doesn't seem to be a very good idea to be a cat around here, does it? But we'll plough on anyway, because we're thinking about civilization. Oh, the enemy's been spotted there, which probably means there is an encampment up here. Which means there's an encampment up here. Move the guy. Okay, this guy is apparently stuck to the floor and can't move. What is going on? Move the... It's funny, I don't touch the game for ages and now it's all glitchy. And this won't... Do nothing and then move him maybe? This game's weird sometimes, at least. There we go. Anyway, I was correct, there was a barbarian encampment. The unit needs orders. Why is it going there? Move there. Mamma mia. The game's being very bizarre for movement. I don't know. Maybe it was something they changed in an update, and because this is not an updated game, it's causing problems. I don't honestly know, but let's pretend it never happened. For some reason that deer's not been updated, so we'll do that. What is wrong with this thing? You know what, guys? What we're going to do is save, and then let's try again. I'm not going to bother skipping this out because frankly the amount of time it'll take to load should be minimal once it stops thinking about it. But yeah, the reason I normally skip this out is because the frame rate becomes really crazy while it's doing the loading screen, so that probably sounded like arse, so sorry about that. But let's hope this time it works properly. Yay! Of course it's not going to work properly. Did they change something really stupid while in these updates or something? I'd like to say that would surprise me, but to be honest it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just blatantly not working. What's wrong with this thing? Let's try that. Ah, that's what happened. Okay. I don't know how my sticky keys or something got stuck on. That might explain why it wasn't working properly. Okay, we fixed the problem. A stupid problem that is ridiculous, but it's at least addressed now, so that's an improvement. Yeah. Or not. Okay, nice. I thought I'd just put the markers on it.